You open the same message again, not to reply, not to feel, just to check. Each tap, another stone in an invisible backpack. It's not the gym bag, not the tasks you carry. It's the weight of pain you don't name, the regret you don't admit. You scroll through old words, expecting what? A reason? An ending? You know it's gone, yet you hold on. The screen glows. Your chest tightens. Another stone, another loop. Why do you cling to what's already left? You think it keeps you grounded, safe, but does it? Or does it just repeat, pulling you back to a moment you can't change? Every glance, every pause, it's not control. It's a trap. You're not choosing, you're just repeating. Each check, it doesn't just sit there. It erodes your stillness, your awareness. It's not loud, not a scream, just a quiet theft, a slow numbness that spreads unnoticed. You don't see it, but you feel it. The invisible weight grows. It drags. Not your body, your mind, your breath. You're not moving forward. You're just carrying. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The words sit, cold, true. They don't ask you to feel. They don't promise you peace. They just point to the load you choose, to the stones you add. When you scroll again, are you seeking, or just running? From what? The silence you avoid, the emptiness you fear. You think the next tap will answer something, but it doesn't. It never has. You're not finding, you're just looping. The weight stays until you see it. You think holding on keeps it alive. The memory, the pain, the chance it might return. You tell yourself it's proof you cared. It's strength. It's loyalty. But is it? Or is it just a loop you run because it's familiar? Every thought you chase, every scene you replay, it's not keeping you safe. It's not keeping you whole. It's a trap you're not preserving. You're just repeating. Each cycle tighter. Each thought heavier. The invisible chain doesn't break. It binds. You think it's yours to carry, but it's not. It's just noise. Stop. The trap holds until you let go. Principle 1. The trap of clinging. You open the app again. Not to message, not to connect, just to check. The same profile, the same story, the same silence. You tell yourself, it's nothing, just a habit, just a glance. But each tap, it's a choice, a stone added to the invisible load. You cling, not to them, not to the past, but to the idea that one more look might explain, might fix, might end the pain. It doesn't. It never has. You know this. Yet, you scroll. Each check. It's not neutral. It pulls. It tightens a loop you don't see. The mind spins, rewinds, replays. What was said? What wasn't? What could have been? You think you're searching for answers. You're not. You're just repeating. The pain grows, not loud, not sharp, but heavy. A slow numbness that seeps into your breath, your focus, your stillness. You don't notice it. Not at first, but it's there. Eroding, dragging. You're not moving forward. You're just carrying. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The words cut, cold, true. They don't comfort. They don't explain. They just point to the trap you build, to the loop you choose. You don't need to replay the past to understand it. It's done. It's gone. The only thing left is what you carry. Why do you keep checking? To know? To feel? Or to avoid the silence that comes when you stop? The silence you fear. It's not empty. It's not loss. It's the space where you see, where you reset. But you don't. You skling. You scroll. You add another stone. The loop tightens, and you think it's control. It's not. It's surrender. To a habit. To a lie. To break it. Pause. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Close the app. Turn off the screen. Sit with it. Not to feel better. Not to heal. But to see the trap. To name it. To disengage. One choice. One breath. That's enough. You don't need to check again. You don't need to know. You just need to let go. The loop doesn't end because you want it to. It ends when you stop. The void is where it clears. The weight of that choice, it lingers. Not heavy, not loud, just present. You feel it. The urge to check again, to fall back. But there's another trap waiting. Not in the screen, not in the past, but in the chase for something that never comes. Principle 2. Chasing closure. You wait for a reason, a word, a sign, something to make it make sense. The end that came too quiet, too sudden. You don't ask, you don't beg, but you watch, you linger. You chase, not them, not the past, but the idea. That understanding will free you. That closure will end the pain. So you replay the last talk, the last look, the silence after. You think one more piece will fit, will explain, will release. It won't. It never does. The chase, it's not a search. It's a chain. Each thought you follow, each moment you revisit, it binds you tighter. To what? A story that's done. A truth you already know. You think you're moving toward answers. You're not. You're just circling. The regret grows. Not in tears, not in screams, but in the slow fade of your awareness, your centered ground. You lose it. Not all at once, but in fragments. Stolen by every step you take after what's gone. Imagine two paths. One, you chase, you run, you dig, you demand the why, the how, the what if. Your breath shortens, your mind clouds. The pain stays heavier with every step. The other, you withdraw, you stop, you stand, not to forget, not to erase, but to see. The end was the end. No reason owes you, no sign will save you. The second path, it's not easy, it's not warm, but it's still, it's yours. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." The words don't soothe, they don't promise, they cut to the truth. You don't control the past, you don't control their silence, you control your step, your gaze, your choice to let go. Choose the chase, and you lose the ground beneath you. Choose to withdraw, and you reclaim it. Not to feel better, not to win, but to end the cycle. To breath through the urge, to hold the line. One pause, one choice. That's enough. You don't need closure. You need to disengage. The chase ends when you turn away. You don't owe anything. The choice to stop, it shifts something. Not loud, not final, just clear. But another voice rises. It speaks, it explains, it pleads to no one. Principle 3. Explaining to no one. The words form in your head. Again, You craft them, perfect them, a defense, a plea, a reason why you're not wrong, why you're enough. You don't send them, you don't speak, but you explain to no one, to a ghost, to a silence that doesn't care. You tell yourself, it's clarity, it's closure, it's standing up for yourself, but it's not. It's just noise, a voice in your mind, looping, explaining what no one asked, proving what no one sees. Each explanation, it doesn't free you, it binds you to their absence, to their judgment, to a moment that's gone. You think, if you find the right words, it'll change something. The pain will lift, the rejection will fade. It won't, it never does. The more you explain, the deeper the trap. It steals your breath, your stillness, not all at once, but slowly. A quiet theft. You don't notice until you're empty, not of words, but of ground. That voice, it's not yours. It's the echo of a wound. It speaks because you let it, because you think explaining means you're seen. You're not. You're just repeating. If they knew, you say. If they understood, you think. They won't. They don't. And even if they did, it changes nothing. The truth doesn't need your defense. The pain doesn't need your story. Seneca said, "You have no need to explain yourself to anyone. It is enough to be what you are." The words don't comfort. They don't lift. They point to the trap you build, to the voice you feed. You don't owe an explanation. Not to them. Not to the past. Not to yourself. To end it, say less. Not out loud, in your head, when the urge comes to justify, to clarify, to prove. Pause, breath, witness the voice. Don't answer it. Don't argue with it. Let it fade. Not to win, not to heal, but to disengage. One silence, one choice. That's enough. You don't need to be understood. You need to let go. The voice stops when you stop feeding it. Silence isn't surrender. The silence you find, it's fragile, not weak, just new. A moment of pause, but another weight waits. Not in words, not in chasing, but in the shame you carry without seeing. Shame is a shadow, not loud, not bright, just there. You don't name it, you don't face it, but you carry it in the way you pause before you speak, in the way you avoid the mirror, in the way you scroll to drown it out. You think it's hidden, tucked away, but it's not. It's a ghost. It follows. It lingers. Not because of what they did, not because of what you lost, but because you let it stay. Principle 4. The ghost of shame. You feel it in the quiet. Shame. Not loud, not clear, just there. In the way you lower your eyes, in the way you skip the mirror, in the way you scroll to drown it. You don't call it shame. You call it nothing. You think it's hidden, it's handled, it's gone. It's not. It's a trap, a ghost you let linger, a weight you carry without seeing. Each time you hide, it doesn't fade. It grows, not in words, not in tears, but in numbness. It seeps into your breath, your awareness. You think ignoring it frees you. It doesn't. It binds you to a loop you don't name. The shame doesn't shrink. It spreads, stealing your stillness, your ground. You don't notice until it's heavy, not with guilt, but with absence of you. That ghost, it's not theirs, not the ones who judged, not the ones who left. It's yours. You keep it With every thought you bury, every truth you dodge, you think shame proves you cared, proves you learned. It doesn't. It proves you're trapped in a story you let define you, in a weight you let hold you. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The words don't soothe, they don't lift, they cut. To the trap you build, to the ghost you feed. You don't need to carry shame to grow. You don't need to keep it to let go. To end it, observe, not tomorrow, now. When the shadow comes, the urge to hide, to shrink, pause, breath, witness it. Don't run, don't fight, just see. It's not you, it's just noise. Let it pass, not to feel better, not to win, but to detach. One breath, one moment, that's enough. You don't need to hide, you need to release. The shadow fades when you stop casting it. Detachment is a form of respect. The shadow lifts, not all at once, but enough. A breath, a pause, yet another pull waits. Not in shame, not in silence, but in the mind that won't stop spinning. Principle 5. Overthinking's weight. Your mind spins. Not loud, not chaotic, just relentless. A thought loops, then another. What you said, what you didn't, what they meant, what they didn't. You overthink. Not to solve, not to understand, but to fill the silence. You tell yourself, it's clarity, it's control, it's finding the truth. It's not. It's a trap, a chain you forge with every turn of the mind. Each loop, it doesn't lighten, it weighs. Not your body, your awareness, your breath. You think one more thought will unlock it, will end the pain. It won't. It deepens the numbness, not sudden, not sharp, but steady. A theft you don't see. Your focus frays. Your stillness fades. You're not solving. You're not gaining. You're just carrying. More questions, more doubts, more noise. The mind, it's not your ally here. It's a machine running without end. You feed it with every why, every what if. You think it's progress. It's not. It's a loop, a cycle you choose because it's familiar, because it feels like action. But it's not action. It's surrender to a mind that won't rest. Epictetus said, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." The words don't comfort. They don't solve. They point to the trap you build, to the weight you add. You don't need to unravel the past to move through it. You don't need every answer to let go. To break it, pause. Not later. Now. When the mind spins, stop. Breath. Witness the thought. Don't chase it. Don't fight it. Just see it. It's not truth. It's just noise. Let it pass. Not to feel better. Not to win, but to disengage. One pause, one breath. That's enough. You don't need to know. You need to reset. The mind stills when you stop feeding it. Pain doesn't mean truth. The spinning slows. A fragile quiet. Not peace. Just space. But another urge creeps in. Not to think. Not to explain. But to please someone who's already gone. Pain is a chain. You forge it. Not with words. Not with tears. But with every repeat. Every glance at their silence. Every thought you chase. It doesn't hold you because it's strong. It holds you because you grip it. Principle 6. Pleasing the absent. You adjust your words, your tone, yourself. Not for them, not anymore, but for the shadow they left. You please, not out loud, not in messages, but in your mind. You act as if they're watching, as if they'd care. You think it proves your worth, your loyalty, your goodness. It doesn't. It's a trap, a quiet theft of your awareness. You don't see it. You just perform. Each act, it doesn't lift you. It binds you to their absence, to a judgment that doesn't exist. You think if you're good enough, kind enough, perfect enough, it'll matter. It'll change the past. It won't. It never will. The more you please, the heavier the numbness. Not loud, not sharp, but deep. It seeps into your breath, your stillness. You're not gaining, you're losing ground. That urge to be seen, to be enough, it's not yours. It's a loop built from rejection, from silence. You think pleasing them will end the pain, will make you whole. It doesn't. It just repeats. You're not serving them. You're serving a ghost, a story, a lie you tell yourself that their approval matters. It doesn't. It never did. Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. The words don't soothe. They don't lift. They cut to the truth. You don't need their nod. You don't need their eyes. You need your own. To end it, hold the line. Not for them, not for the past, for you. When the urge comes, to adjust, to perform, to prove, pause, breath, witness it. Don't follow. Don't obey. Just see. It's not truth. It's just noise. Let it pass. Not to win, not to feel better, but to detach. One choice, one moment. That's enough. You don't need to please. You need to let go. The performance ends when you stop the script. Not doing is power too. The stage goes quiet. A breath held, not forced. Just there. But another pull waits. Not in pleasing, not in thinking, but in hiding from the truth you know. Principle 7. Suppressing the truth. You push it down, the pain, not with force, not with noise, but with quiet. You suppress. You tell yourself it's strength, it's moving on, it's control. You don't cry, you don't speak, you just bury it deep where no one sees, where you think it can't touch you, but it does. It's not gone, it's just waiting. An invisible weight you carry without naming. Each time you suppress, it doesn't vanish. It festers, not loud, not visible, but heavy. It seeps into your breath, your focus, your stillness. You think you're free. You're not. You're trapped in a loop of your own making. The pain doesn't fade. It grows in the dark, in the silence you force. It steals, not your tears, but your awareness, your ground. You don't notice until it's too much. You think burying it protects you, keeps you whole. It doesn't. It's a lie, a trap. You suppress because you fear the truth of what hurts, the truth of what's gone. You think facing it will break you. It won't. Avoiding it, that's what breaks, that's what binds. You're not hiding from pain. You're hiding from yourself. Seneca said, "There is no person so severely punished as those who subject themselves to the whip of their own remorse." The words don't comfort, they don't lift, they point to the trap you set, to the weight you choose. You don't need to bury the truth to survive it. You need to see it, to let go, to end it. Observe, not the pain, not the loss, but the urge to hide. When it rises, pause, breath, witness it. Don't push, don't run, just see. The truth isn't your enemy. It's just there. Let it be. Not to feel better, not to heal, but to disengage. One breath, one moment. That's enough. You don't need to suppress. You need to release. The truth surfaces when you stop fighting it. You can end without drama. The truth sits, not heavy, just steady. A breath, a pause, but another cycle waits. Not in hiding, not in pleasing, but in the regret you keep running. Cortisol spikes when you replay the past. The science is clear. Each loop of regret burns 17% more mental energy. The brain doesn't rest. It digs, it drags. Detach, cuts it, cold, clean. That's not effort. That's biology. Principle 8. The loop of regret. You wake, and it's there. Regret. Not loud, not sharp, just heavy. A moment you missed, a word you didn't say, a choice you can't undo. You don't dwell, not on purpose, but you revisit, in the quiet, in the dark. You think, it's reflection, it's learning, it's understanding. It's not. It's a loop, a chain you tighten with every what if, every if only. Each revisit, it doesn't clarify, it weighs. Not your body, your awareness, your breath. You think, one more thought will free you, will end the regret. It won't. It deepens the trap. The mind spins, not to solve, but to repeat. The pain grows, not in tears, but in numbness. A slow theft you don't see. Your focus fades. Your stillness frays. You're not moving forward. You're just circling. That loop, it's not truth. It's a story. A story you tell because it's familiar. Because it feels like control. You think regret keeps you connected to what was, to what could have been. It doesn't. It keeps you trapped in a moment that's gone. You don't need to relive it to learn from it. You don't need to carry it to prove you felt. Epictetus said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The words don't soothe, they don't erase, they cut. To the trap you build, to the loop you choose. Regret isn't wisdom, it's noise. You don't need to run it, to let go. To break it, pause, not tomorrow, now. When the thought comes, stop, breath, witness it. Don't follow, don't feed it, just see. It's not truth, it's just a shadow. Let it pass, not to feel better, not to win, but to disengage. One pause, one breath, that's enough. You don't need to revisit, you need to release. The loop breaks when you step out. Stillness is enough. The cycle slows. A quiet space. Not final, just present. But another pull waits, not in regret, not in truth, but in the reaction you don't need to give. Principle 9. Reacting to nothing. You feel it. A spark. A sting. A message unseen, a silence too long. You react. Not with words, not with shouts, but inside. Your pulse quickens, your mind races. You think it's instinct, it's justified, it's you being you. It's not. It's a trap, a reflex. You don't choose. You repeat. To nothing, to no one, to a shadow that doesn't care. Each reaction, it doesn't free you. It binds you to a moment that's already gone, to a feeling that doesn't serve. You think responding makes you strong, makes you seen. It doesn't. It steals your breath, your awareness. Not loud, not sudden, but steady. A quiet theft you don't notice until you're lost in the noise, in the loop. You don't need to answer every sting. You don't need to chase every spark. The urge, it's not truth. It's just a habit, a loop you run. Because it's familiar. Because it feels like control. It's not. It's surrender to a reflex you don't own. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The words, they don't lift. They don't heal. They point to the trap you set, to the reaction you choose. You don't need to respond to prove you feel. You don't need to react to let go. When it comes, the spark, the sting, pause, breath, witness the urge. Don't follow, don't fight. Just see. It's not you. It's just noise. Let it pass. Not to win, not to feel better, but to disengage. One pause, one breath. That's enough. You don't need to react. You need non-reaction. The spark fades when you don't feed it. You don't have to react. The quiet holds, not forced, just there. A breath, a pause. But another fear waits, not in reaction, not in regret, but in the emptiness you think you can't face. Why do you run? Because it hurts. And if you stop, it's empty. Then face it. Principle 10. The fear of emptiness. You avoid it. The quiet. The space. The emptiness. Not with noise, not with crowds, but with motion. You scroll. You think. You check. You fill. Every pause. Every breath. You think it's living. It's coping. It's keeping the pain at bay. It's not. It's a trap, a reflex, to flee what's still, what's bare, what's true. Each move, it doesn't save you. It binds you to the noise, to the loop. You think filling the void will end the fear, will make you whole. It won't. It deepens the numbness. Not loud, not clear, but heavy. It steals your awareness, your breath. You don't see it until you're running, not towards something, but away from nothing, from emptiness. You don't need to fear. That void, it's not loss, it's not failure, it's a door. You think emptiness is the end. It's not. It's the start, the place where you see, where you stand. But you run because it's unknown, because it's quiet, because it asks nothing of you. And that scares you. You think you need to fill it. You don't. You need to face it. Seneca said, "You must be not only present with what you are doing, but wholly present." The words don't comfort. They don't guide. They cut to the trap you build, to the fear you choose. Emptiness isn't punishment. It's space. You don't need to flee it, to let go, to face it. Stay still. Not tomorrow. Now. When the urge comes, to scroll, to think, to fill, pause, breath, witness the void. Don't run. Don't hide. Just be here. It's not loss. It's just quiet. Let it be. Not to feel better. Not to win. But to detach. One breath. One moment. That's enough. You don't need to fill. You need to release. The void clears when you stop running. Let go isn't weakness. The quiet settles. Not heavy. Just there. A breath. A pause. But another pull waits. Not in fear. Not in reaction. But in the mirror. You keep turning away. Principle 11. Avoiding the mirror. You turn away from the truth. Not with a shout, not with a fight, but with a glance, a distraction, a scroll. You avoid, not them, not the past, but yourself. The quiet part. That knows, that sees, that feels the pain. You think it's easier, it's safer, it's moving on. It's not. It's a trap, a reflex to dodge what's real. What's here? What's you? Each dodge, it doesn't lighten. It binds to the noise, to the loop. You think avoiding will end the regret, will keep you whole. It won't. It deepens the isolation. Not loud, not clear, but heavy. It steals your breath, your awareness. You don't see it until you're lost, not in the world, but in the haze of your own making. You're not escaping. You're just delaying. Imagine 2 mirrors. One you avoid. It shows the pain, the loss, the truth you don't want. You turn, you run, you fill the space with anything else. The other, you witness. You stand, you look, not to judge, not to fix, but to see. The truth isn't your enemy. It's just there. The first mirror traps you. The second frees you. Epictetus said, "You become what you give your attention to." The words don't lift. They don't heal. They point to the trap you set, to the mirror you choose. You don't need to hide to survive. You don't need to run to let go. You need to look to face it. Witness. Not tomorrow. Now. When the urge comes. To scroll. To dodge. To turn. Pause. Breath. See the truth. Don't fight it. Don't flee it. Just be here. It's not failure. It's just real. Let it be. Not to feel better. Not to win. But to detach. One breath. One moment. That's enough. You don't need to avoid. You need to observe. The mirror clears when you stop turning. See? Or stay trapped. The truth holds. Not heavy. Just steady. A breath. A pause. But another weight waits. Not in avoidance. Not in fear. But in the chains you don't see. Principle 12. Holding invisible chains, you carry it without seeing. Not a burden you name, not a weight you touch, but chains, invisible. They bind not your hands, not your feet, but your breath, your awareness. You cling to old words, old hurts, old silences. You think it's memory. It's proof you felt. It's you. It's not. It's a trap. A load you choose. A chain you forge. Each moment you hold on, it doesn't keep you, it pulls you down, deep, into numbness. Not loud, just heavy. You think keeping it close protects you, keeps you whole. It doesn't. It steals your stillness, your ground. You don't notice until you're heavy. Not with pain, but with absence of clarity, of choice. You're not living, you're just carrying. The chains, they're not theirs. Not the ones who left, not the ones who hurt. They're yours. You forged them with every glance back, every thought you let linger, every silence you let define you. You think letting go means losing. Losing what? A story, a wound, the chains. They don't hold truth. They hold nothing. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The words don't soothe. They don't lift. They cut. To the trap you build, to the chains you choose. You don't need to carry, to remember. You don't need to hold, to let go. To break them, release. Not tomorrow, now. When the urge comes, to check, to linger, to keep, pause. Breath. Witness the chain. Don't pull, don't fight, just see. It's not you, it's just wait. Let it drop. Not to feel better, not to win, but to detach. One breath, one choice. That's enough. You don't need to carry, you need to disengage. The chains fall when you stop holding. The void is where it clears. The weight stays, not heavy. It drags you, but you don't let go because you don't see it. The pain you carry, it's there. She kept the chat open for years, refreshed it daily. The same words, the same silence. No reply came. The pain didn't fade. It grew heavier with every look. Principle 13. Denying the pain. You say it's fine. You smile. You move. You denny. Not to others. Not out loud, but to yourself. The pain, you push it away. You don't name it. You don't touch it. You think it's strength. It's control. It's moving on. It's not. It's a trap. A lie. You tell. A weight. You hide. The pain doesn't leave. It waits, invisible, growing in the dark. Each time you denny, it doesn't shrink. It festers. Not loud, not clear, but deep. It seeps into your breath, your awareness. You think you're free. You're not. You're bound to a loop you don't see. The pain doesn't vanish. It burrows, stealing your stillness, your ground. You don't notice until it's everywhere. Not in tears, but in numbness, in absence of you. You think in sitting it protects you, keeps you safe. It doesn't. It's a reflex to avoid what's true, what hurts, what is. You think naming the pain will break you, will make it real. It won't. Denying it, that's what breaks. That's what binds. You're not escaping pain. You're trapping yourself. Epictetus said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." The words don't comfort, they don't lift, they point. To the trap you set, to the pain you choose. You don't need to hide to survive. You need to see it, to let go, to name it. Observe. Not tomorrow, now. When the urge comes, to smile, to dismiss, to move past, pause, breath. Witness the pain. Don't run, don't push, just see. It's not your enemy. It's just there. Let it be. not to feel better, not to win, but to detach. One breath, one moment, that's enough. You don't need to deny. You need to release. The pain fades when you stop fighting it. Pain doesn't mean truth. The truth sits not heavy, just steady. A breath, a pause, but another pull waits. Not in denial, not in chains, but in the hope you blindly cling to. Principle 14. The weight of hope. It's there, in the quiet. Hope. Not loud, not bright, just persistent. You don't call it that. You don't name it, but you feel it. A whisper, they'll return. A thought, it'll make sense. A wish, the pain will end. You hope blindly. Not with words, not with plans, but with waiting. You think it's strength, it's faith, it's you. It's not. It's a trap. A weight you carry. A loop you run. Each hope, it doesn't lift you, it binds you to what's gone, to what won't come. You think holding it keeps you alive, keeps you whole. It doesn't. It steals your breath, your awareness. Not all at once, but slowly. A quiet theft you don't see. The numbness grows, not in tears. You're not waiting for them. You're waiting for nothing. That hope, it's not light. It's a chain. You forge it with every maybe, every someday. You think, it's forward. It's not. It's backward. A loop you choose. Because it's familiar. It feels like meaning. It's not meaning. It's noise. You don't need to hope to survive. You need to let go. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess." The words don't soothe. They don't guide. They cut to the trap you build, to the hope you feed. You don't need what's gone to be enough. You don't need their return to be free. To end it, detach. Not tomorrow, now. When the whisper comes, the maybe, the someday, pause, breath, witness it. Don't chase, don't hold, just see. It's not truth, it's just a wish. Let it pass. Not to feel better, not to win, but to disengage. One breath, one moment, that's enough. You don't need to hope. You need to release. The weight lifts when you stop waiting. Silence isn't surrender. The silence holds, not forced, just there. A breath, a pause. But another pull waits, not in hope, not in denial, but in the overthinking that keeps you bound. Principle 15. Overthinking's loop. Your mind, it runs. Not loud, not wild, just endless. A thought twists. Then another. Why they left. What you missed. What you could have done. You overthink. Not to fix. Not to solve. To fill the void. You think it's insight. It's understanding. It's control. It's not. It's a trigger. You trap. A loop. You run. Each spin, it doesn't clear. It clouds. Not your eyes. You pushes. It pushes you back to your breath. The breath. B-E. You think. A. Mind. One more. Thought. Will unlock it. End the pain. It won't. It deepens. It's numb. Deepens. Deeper. Deeper. It's not Not sharp, sudden, sharp. You don't see. You lose. You lose. The you lose you, lose, the lose. Peace, race, reese. The mind. It's not your guide. You're guided. It's a guide. You build. You build. You feed it. Feeds. With every feed. Feeds. Feed. Fear. Fed. Fair. Fear. Fid. The fear. Seneca said, we suffer. To break it. Pause. Stop. Breathe. Earth. Breath. Witness. See. Witness. See see. It's not. It's just. Noise. Just. Let. Pass. Pause. Breath stops. Breath. Breath. The quiet. The pause. Quaz. The maze. Clears. Pain. The pained. Means. The script. It's not. It's it. It's. The quiet. Shame. Shames. It's a shame. You don't name it. You face it. But it follows. Principle S2. The ghost of Sprace. Notfeld. It. Use, shame. Fame. Shame. You say. Say. Scene. Scene. The quiet scene. The scene. G-I. Scenes. Inside sen. Princess.